6. You know it's time for the morning scoop from the National Daily.
Tune in, listen, form opinion, be an active citizen, and stay abreast of happenings in Nigeria and beyond. But never forget where you heard it first. Straight from the dailies on Splash 105.5 FM.
Hello to you. Good morning. It's 6:36 on a lovely Thursday morning, 30th day of March 2023. Welcome to the Integrity Station for today. My name is Charity Jerome. This is the Morning Splash. First on the table this morning, where we, of course, start out the day with the news, and that's exactly what we're doing. I do want to believe that you had a great night, that you were very well rested, and that you're up this morning hoping for great things. And I'm also hoping that the news today will not bring us down. Instead, it would lift us up, hopefully. Of course, hopefully. Fingers crossed, right? So let's see. What are the headlines saying today? What are the newspapers telling us? What is happening in Nigeria? I can tell you for free that some of it is disturbing. Very disturbing. You might even want to say unprecedented, and you would be just right. I mean, you take a look at some of the headlines, one particular one majorly, and then you're like, whoa. Well, let's get started. We're live on Facebook. Would like for you to join us, share your comments and your thoughts with us if you have any. Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan on Facebook is how you find us. And of course, you're going to have an opportunity to let me know how these headlines, affect you, or what you feel towards them, or what comments you might have as regards these stories. That would be much later when the phone lines do come open. For now, I want to furnish you with what the news is saying, and yes, we'll pick up the conversation from there. So when I said some headlines this morning would make you say, whoa, this is unprecedented, I was referring to something like this one. It's major news across newspapers today. It's going to be a huge talking point across different programs today, and I think in the coming days, even weeks maybe. But it's just starting out. It is what you would call a developing story, but at that, it is still disturbing. The Daily Trust says some politicians plotting to halt Tinubu's inauguration. And it might seem like it's simple, but it's more than that, because the person who's throwing up this comment is the Department of State Services, the DSS. And the story reads that some key political players are plotting to foist an interim government in Nigeria, according to the Department of State Services. President-elect Bola Tinubu is due for inauguration May 29, but in a statement on Wednesday by Dr. Peter Afunaya, DSS spokesman, he stated that some persons have weighed various options, which include foisting an interim government after obtaining frivolous court injunctions to forestall the inauguration of new executive administration and legislative houses at the federal and state levels. Afunaya said such persons were also considering sponsoring endless violent mass protests in major cities to warrant a declaration of a state of emergency. So that's it. That's the news. But I want to draw your mind back to the campaigning, particularly the presidential campaigns. Remember the time when the Naira crunch was very, very stiff, if I would use the word, and people were not getting cash, and there was also scarcity at the time. Remember the governor of Kaduna State coming out to make a statement? I hope you remember, because I think he came out on the show at the time, right? He said then that some people didn't want the presidential candidate of the APC to win, and so they were doing things to ensure his failure. Things like the new Naira redesign, for instance, and making sure the fuel wasn't available. But one thing he did say at the time also was that these same people wanted to install an interim government in Nigeria. Do you remember? Because I do, and if I'm being honest with you, at the time, I thought it was ridiculous. I thought he was just trying to get people emotional. He was trying to sell his candidate in the best way that he could, and he was just, you know, it would seem that he was not. I mean, the DSS itself is confirming this, and the DSS is the institution that should know. If anybody were planning this, the DSS would know. And now, months or maybe weeks after, they are corroborating that allegation. It was an allegation at the time. Now I think it's beyond an allegation. So that's the situation. The DSS says some people are planning. The DSS has not told us what they intend to do about that, but there's a headline on the Punch newspaper this morning with certain Nigerians who are reacting, saying the DSS should not only tell Nigerians, but go ahead and arrest such people. So it's on the Punch newspaper. Arrest interim government plotters. APC PDP tells the DSS. Presidential Campaign Councils of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party have challenged the Department of State Services to get tough with plotters of interim national government. The councils, in separate interviews with the Punch on Wednesday in Abuja, said the push for an interim government was unconstitutional, adding that the plotters should be arrested. They spoke against the backdrop of the statement issued by the security agency that some people were plotting an interim national government. So this is interesting times, I'm sure you would agree. And I wonder what your reaction to this major headline will be. And why do you think the DSS told Nigerians about this? What do you think the DSS is up to by revealing this information to the general public, especially as they're not going on to make arrests? We've not seen them make any arrests yet. They have not said they will make any arrests yet or try to name these people. So what do you think the aim of putting out this information out there is? Because it strikes me like this is the kind of information that people in government will try to hold close to their chest and not divulge, at least to the, general public. Why, though, is it that in this instance, the DSS is coming out to shout about this in the manner that they have? What do you think they're trying to achieve? Maybe you should think on that a bit and hopefully let me know what your deductions are when the phone lines open. Perhaps you can go on Facebook and leave that comment for me. I'm interested in hearing what you see, but what you have to say. But as I said earlier, this is the biggest story in Nigeria at this moment. There's not a newspaper that you're going to pick up this morning that doesn't have a version of this story with its own angle to it. But the crux of the matter is DSS has uncovered this huge plot by certain political players wanting to install an interim national government, and they intend to go about this by getting court injunctions that would stop the inauguration and then getting people to protest all over the country, which would cause an illusion of chaos and confusion, and then use that as an excuse to have an interim national government installed. Yeah, 2023, full of surprises. I'm sure you would agree. Let's go back to the Daily Trust and see what other newspapers are there. U.S. increases fee for non-immigrant visa application. I think this is some interesting news as well. So I'm going to go in and take some details for the benefit of those who might be interested in this story and, the U.S. and its program. So the United States has announced an increase in setting non-immigrant visa application processes fees. The increases published by the Federal Register on March 28, 2023, will be effective from May 30th, 2023. And according to an official, the fee for visitor visas for businesses or tourism and other non-petition-based visas, non-immigrant visas, such as student and exchange visitor visas, will increase from $160 to $185, while the fee for certain petition-based non-immigrant visas for temporary workers and our categories will increase from $190 to $205. They also say that the fee for a treaty trader, treaty investor, treaty applicants in a specialty occupation will increase from $205 to $213. And let's see. Okay, so it said that the non-immigrant visa fees are set based on actual cost of providing non-immigrant visa services and are determined after conducting a study of the cost of such services, adding that an activity-based costing methodology was used. Okay, this is none of our business. But what I want you to take away from this does not only concern Nigeria. This is an across-the-board increase on its prices for immigrants. So it affects everybody as long as they're not, citizens of the United States. And they're wanting to get these visas one way or the other, they're going to have to pay these new fees, according to the U.S. Back on the Daily Trust, APC's Gawuna accepts defeat, congratulates Kano governor-elect. And then you also have Hunter killed, 2 arrested as security agents battle kidnappers in Ogun. Let's see. I was pressurized to manipulate Abia Guba election, INEC returning officer. I have to take this story for you because this woman has turned into a hero of some sort in Abia State. And this is part of her testimony of what her experiences were on the day preceding the elections in which she served as returning officer for the state. So Professor Nenna Oti, returning officer for the Abia State governorship election, has confessed that she was offered bribes to manipulate the election. Now, exactly a week ago, Alex Oti of the Labour Party was declared winner of the governorship poll. And according to the results announced by INEC, Oti polled 175,467 votes to defeat Oke Ahiwe of the People's Democratic Party, who polled 88,529. Now, while speaking during her welcoming by the staff and students of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, Oti, who is the vice-chancellor, said before the final declaration of the result, she was promised huge monetary inducements to change the will of Abia people. Now, these are her words. As an electoral officer, I have never in my life participated in any election, but duty came calling. I made my inquiries from Abuja. If I perish, I perish. They came with their threats, they came with their money, they came with their intimidation. End of quote. She stated that she stood on her ideals and principles not to shortchange anyone and ensure that the will of the people of Abia prevailed and that their votes counted during the election. This is commendable, to say the least. And I wonder how many returning officers who participated in the last elections will beat their chest just as confidently as this woman is doing to say that they refused financial, inducements or, bribes because they wanted to uphold the will of the people in the elections. No doubt this woman, she's set an example. She has set an example, and I'm sure democracy will be grateful for her. We've got to take a break, but Madam Jumoke is here. Hi, Jumoke. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. This is a major good look on the Nigerian democracy, you have to agree. I mean, it's just one woman who, didn't allow the pressure to get to her. But what do you think this says for, other people who are looking to do this job, knowing how much pressure they can be under sometimes to compromise?
This is something, good morning Nigerians and good morning everyone. This is something that since yesterday, we've been hearing of her story since last week, but since yesterday, when there's a lot of pressure to look at the establishment of electoral commission and prosecution of people who participated, individuals who served for INEC or worked for INEC, who participated in electoral offenses. This should serve more as for impetus that more people who actually participated in subverting the will of the people need to be prosecuted because somebody has paved the way that it is possible to say no and nothing will happen.
I mean, she also did confirm. If she didn't say, we would not have known for certain that monies were offered. But now she has made it very clear that sometimes they offer money. And it is not in all cases, of course, that people will have the will to say no, which is the great part of this. We've got to take that break now. When we come back, we've got more headlines for you. And then, of course, phone lines will be coming open. Don't go away.
When I wake up in the morning, I need something to help me start my day. Pick 4, 5, 6 has DHA. It helps my brain to grow. It helps me to be smart. Oh, my own milk, oh, pick 4, 5, 6, yeah.
Ìyá ọlọ́gbọ́n. Èwo lẹ̀ ń ṣe?
Mo ń ṣe oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456.
Oúnjẹ òwúrọ̀ pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 kẹ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó ní àlékún DHA, èyí tó ń ṣe àtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé. Bákan náà ló tún ní káṣíọ̀mù, fítámìn D àti onígá ńlá protein láti mú àwọn ọmọ rẹ dàgbà kí wọ́n sì lágbára.
Mo fẹ́ràn ẹ̀. Màá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní fi mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 tó ní àlékún DHA, èyí tó ń ṣàtìlẹ́yìn ìdàgbàsókè ọpọlọ tó jí pépé fi kún àwọn èròjà ìṣaralóore fún àwọn ọmọ mi.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Dàgbà kó lágbára kó sì jáfáfá pẹ̀lú mílìkì ìdàgbàsókè PIC 456 lójoojúmọ́.
Samsung Galaxy A series has 2 new additions, the Samsung A34 and A54. These new devices come in beautiful premium designs, colors, and of course, protected by Knox. And you get buds when you purchase either A34 or A54 device. And do not forget, you can still get a travel adapter, Bluetooth speaker, or Bluetooth headset when you buy the A14 device. And with Samsung Flex Pay, you can make 12,500 Naira down payment and pay small over 3 to 12 months installments. And screen repair is just 16,000 Naira. Hurry now while stocks last.
Oh no, my line has been barred.
Not to worry. Link your NIN and unbar your 9 mobile line with ease. Dial *996# and select option 2 or visit 9mobile.com.ng/NIN. You also get up to 20K for calls and up to 20 gig data when you link your line. If you are yet to enroll your NIN, please visit any 9 Mobile Experience Center now. Remember, dial *996#, select option 2 or visit 9mobile.com.ng/NIN now.
9 Mobile.
Beyond banking. Say you need something. Where they beyond banking. Make I give you the updates. We not they frustrate. Open at the package. Relax your mind. You know go for your hand. Auntie, brother, open now the way. Anything we can find money. Super fast transactions speed. Networking not they sleep. Run and one time is done. Open beyond banking. Open beyond banking.
OPay beyond banking.
Ẹ̀yin ọmọ yìí, ó máa dá àkàrà nǹkan díẹ̀ sílẹ̀ fún Ramadan yìí. Ó yá kí ni kára.
Èso. Ewébẹ̀, ẹ má gbàgbé ìṣara lóore àwọn màmá o. 3 crowns milk.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́ta.
Rárá o, 4.
Ó dáa. Torí kó jẹ́ màmá, á ra agolo mílìkì 3 crowns mẹ́jọ.
Ìṣúra aláìlẹ́gbẹ́ làwọn màmá. Torí náà, fẹ̀mí ìmoore hàn sí màmá pẹ̀lú 3 crowns milk lákòókò Ramadan yìí.
3 crowns milk, ìlera àwọn màmá, ayọ̀ ẹbí.
Beyond banking. Say you need something. Where they beyond banking. Make I give you the updates. We not they frustrate. Open at the package. Relax your mind. You know go for your hand. Auntie, brother, open now the way. Anything we can find money. Super fast transactions speed. Networking not they sleep. Run and one time is done. Open beyond banking. Open beyond banking.
OPay beyond banking.
Ramadan tún ti dé. Ó yá, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ rìnrìn àjò lọ sáwọn ilé oúnjẹ ìgbàlódé tó yáàyè níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti gbádùn ara yín ní sáà oṣù Ramadan yìí. Àkọ́kọ́ ibẹ̀ ní ilé oúnjẹ Àánú níbi tí pípé ti ṣe pàtàkì. Nítorí náà, ẹ máa fi fúnni. Èyí tó tẹ̀lé ni ilé oúnjẹ ọrẹ. Nítorí náà, ẹ máa jẹ́ onínúure tòótọ́. Èyí tó gbẹ̀yìn ni pé kó o dúró lójúnà ìdáríjì, kó o sì jọ̀wọ́ gbogbo ìkùnsínú. Ní àkókò àsùbá àti ṣínú, kó èrè wọlé pẹ̀lú adùn náà. Lóṣù Ramadan yìí, má kàn jẹun lásán nìkan. Pín ìgbádùn yìí kó o sì wà ní ìdára. Náà jẹun fún ìdára.
Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi, ẹ má jẹ́ kó wo náírà tuntun àti àìlègbowó yọ yín lẹ́nu. Hope wà lórí fóònù rẹ. Ìfẹ́ ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà wà ńlẹ̀. Torí náà, tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ fowó ránṣẹ́ sí màmá ńlé àbí láti ra owó ìpè fún Àbíkẹ́ láti fún oníbàárà lówó àbí tó oníbàárà bá fẹ́ fún yín lówó. Hope wà lórí fóònù rẹ. Ìfẹ́ ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà wà ńlẹ̀. Èèyàn mi, nọ́mbà fóònù rẹ ní nọ́mbà káàdì ATM àti nọ́mbà àkáǹtì rẹ o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, gbádùn ayé ìrọ̀rùn pẹ̀lú Hope Wallet. Tẹ *569*9# lórí fóònù rẹ kó o sì yan Open Wallet. Tẹ àlàyé nípa ara rẹ síbẹ̀. Ló bá tán, o ti ṣí àpò ìṣúná rẹ nìyẹn. Hope PS Bank á wá fún ẹ ní ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ̀ta náírà ṣáńgílítì. Hope àṣeyọrí. Hope Bank nígbà gbogbo.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo. Samsung Galaxy A series tún ti ní àfikún méjì, Samsung A34 àti A54. Àwọn aago tuntun yìí ní iṣẹ́ àti òdòdó tó rẹwà tó tà wọ́n yọ pẹ̀lú ìdáàbòbò tá a mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ látọwọ́ Knox. Bákan náà, wàá gba wọn àǹkóṣe tí gbọ́rọ̀ gbóni tó o bá ra aago A34 tàbí A54. Rántí pé tí o bá ra aago A14, wàá gba ẹ̀bùn travel adapter, Bluetooth speaker tàbí Bluetooth headset. Má ṣe gbàgbé pé pẹ̀lú Samsung Flex Pay, o lè san àsanlẹ̀ $12,500 láti ní ẹ̀rọ Samsung A14, A34 tàbí A54 tirẹ̀ kó o sì san yìí tó kù díẹ̀díẹ̀ láàrin oṣù 3 sí 12. Títún àfẹ́ràn rẹ̀ ṣẹ́dẹ̀ jẹ́ $16,000 péré. Yára ṣàṣà.
Oh no, my line has been barred.
Not to worry. Link your NIN and unbar your 9 mobile line with ease. Dial *996# and select option 2 or visit 9mobile.com.ng/NIN. You also get up to 20K for calls and up to 20 gig data when you link your line. If you are yet to enroll your NIN, please visit any 9 Mobile Experience Center now. Remember, dial *996#, select option 2 or visit 9mobile.com.ng/NIN now.
9 Mobile.
As the sun sets, you know it'll soon be iftar. What will be on your family's table? Some delicious homemade recipes prepared with love? With 5 Alive, every sip is a delicious treat that will awaken your family senses, filling you all with life during this holy month. So pulp it and create unforgettable moments with your loved ones. And at Sahur, 5 Alive will fill you with zest to keep you going through the day. Now available in delicious orange, mango, and tropical flavors. Ramadan Mubarak.
Building on the successful completion of our first session with attendance testimony of our professional handling of the classes, we invite interested applicants to enroll for the next stream at the Splash FM Media Academy, an arm of the West Midlands Communications Limited. Our mandate to restore professional excellence in the broadcast industry is still on course, and that's why we invite you to hurry up and enroll now for full-time and part-time intensive practical lectures in presentation, journalism, programs and content development, basic production and digital media, presentation in Yoruba, and so on, leading to the award of Certificate of Proficiency in Broadcast Journalism. Course duration is 6 weeks of intensive practical classes plus interactive practical mentorship sessions with veterans and industrial placement. To register, visit the Splash FM Media Academy beside White House, Felele, Ibadan. For inquiries, call 070-543-93332 or 080-569-98676. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we are at Splash FM Academy.
We educate. That's why we are respected. We inform. That's why we are loved. More music. We are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash, splash.
105.5. It's 7 a.m.
Start your day
with a cup of rich Lipton Yellow Label tea.
From the top.
top of the Fisher Building.
This is
Detroit's number one hit music station.
Splash 105.5 FM, your integrity station.
And we are back at 7 o'clock on the dot. You're listening to Straight from the Dailies live on Splash 105.5 FM. Today, 30th of March, 2023. My name is Charity Jerome. I have Jumoke with me. So far, we've talked to you about the DSS's announcement of a plot among some political players that want to install an interim national government. I give the details of that. I'm going to quickly ask your comments on this, Jumoke, before we move on to a few more headlines. So the DSS says these people are planning to get to the courts, get injunctions, and then stop the inauguration. While they're doing that, get people to protest across the country, create chaos, and then, boom, interim national government.
The DSS would not be speaking on speculations. They should never be speaking on speculations. There should be certain aspects of the of laws that actually deal with this kind of speculations. They know the standard operating procedures that should that deals with when such information is found. And I think the most important thing here is for them to tell us they have nipped this in the bud, as against just making an announcement to put us in a state of fright. However, it's good that we can have intelligence like this. My own mind will go to, why don't we have this kind of intelligence for so many other insecurity issues that we deal with? And we are having it on these political issues. We commend them, but we want it to be extended to other issues that are more pertinent to us. Because
you don't think this is pertinent to us? Well, we're talking about a change of government. We've enjoyed democracy for 23 years or thereabout. This is giving bad vibes on all the levels. First of all, we have a president-elect. I mean, that you might say that people contesting that, but the INEC has announced that there is a president in waiting. And what the DSS is saying is that there are some people that do not want this person who has been voted president to become president. You think that is not concern enough for Nigerians?
It's concern enough for Nigerians. But the fact that they have the intelligentsia with them, I think that problem should be nipped in the bud. It's pertinent to us. I mean, take that. But the way it is handled is very, very important. DSS knows that there are security procedures, protocols that they should hold back for the sake of the polity and act, and then announce that they have acted.
You know, I'm glad that you mentioned this, because the question I asked my listeners at the start of this was, why do they think the DSS is coming to tell Nigerians? Because this is the kind of information that usually they would hold very close to the chest. What do you think the DSS aims to get from releasing this information to the general public?
In an age where everybody is seeking attention, wanting to be put in the face of things and accolades for whatever thing they've done. But this is just in the line of duty, if I might say. It's not out of place for DSS to do something like this and then come out and say, oh, we have this information, we've rounded so people up, we are doing investigation, or our investigation is concluded, and these are the findings, these people are being prosecuted for this. That is what I call an efficient agency.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I'm going to come to the phone lines because I have a feeling a lot of people would want to talk on this story and this story alone, so that you have enough time to do that. But before we get on to the phone lines and your message on Facebook, this is a story that perhaps will get civil servants happy. The federal government has approved a pay rise for civil servants. This is according to the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige. He says that the federal government approved the pay rise for civil servants in the country, and this was to allow civil servants to, survive or grapple very well with the current economic reality. He also explained that the money will help government workers navigate through the inflation, the rising cost of living, hike in transportation, fair housing, and electricity tariffs. Any quick comments on this before we move on?
Quickly, I mean, we all know that fuel increase is coming, removal of subsidy. So salary increase, is it commensurate with the level of increase that fuel is going to, or is just something, just a hula baloo, something that is not properly done? So how this review, did it take into cognizance what is going to be happening when the subsidy is removed? Is it commensurate now? Is it equal to? And is it leaving civil servants impoverished, still impoverished, or in a state where they are just doing something to keep them quiet? And now we expect NLC to be at its best, TUC and all the awards.
We'll be talking about that at 8 o'clock, the suspension of the strike and NLC and all of that. But what hits me about this is, it's a good thing. It's a good development. But what about people who are not civil servants and are Nigerians and are having to face these realities as well? I mean, the inflation has increased for everybody. Electricity tariff has increased for everybody, not just for civil servants. What is the government doing for people that are not benefiting directly from the government? I have to open the phone lines. I mean, that was just on the side. But let's get your comments in 0809-155-1055, 0706-949-3000, and 0805-699-8678. I'd like to appeal to you to please keep it to a minute or under so we can take as many calls as possible. I will also be going on Facebook to take your messages. I see them already, and I will be taking them just in a moment. It's Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan, of course, on Facebook. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, I'm Olushola Julius.
Great. Olushola, you're welcome.
Yes. Good morning, Auntie Jumoke.
Good morning.
Now, you see, interim government, for me, I believe it can never work. Why? Even if they are trying to protest or do other things, the judiciary is the one that will give them the latitude to be able to do that. But the judiciary tried more under a democratic system of government. Even if an interim system of government is being put in place or a military rule is being put in place, you see that the judiciary will go in comatose, they will go in silence. So for me, they themselves want to use every power they have gotten to make sure that the will of the people prevail. Finally, democracy has come to stay in our country. Nothing can bring any other rule to us. PSS should be on their toes and make sure that the needful is done. Nigeria must continue to be a democratic nation. Good morning.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. Can you speak up? You sound very faint in the distance. Please. Great. Let's manage this.
Is it clearer now?
Yes, it's a bit clearer. Thank you. Yes.
Now, we don't want another June 12 in Nigeria again. Those who are sponsoring the interim government are enemies of Nigeria. We have conducted an election and somebody has been pronounced as the winner of the election. So why did June 12 to come here that we don't want it? Let Tinubu be sworn in, and those who are agreeing to go to the law court. We don't want another June 12 in this country again.
Okay.
They are enemies of Nigeria.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. He says they are enemies of Nigeria. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi, Ahmed. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, we have two Jumi in the studio.
Okay. I hear you.
Definitely. I don't know whether you are intimidated by other Jumi.
Why? The more the merrier. The more the merrier now. See, I mean, go ahead. Thanks.
Yeah, but for me, when we heard things like this, it's quite scary for me. And you have to wonder whether President Buhari is in charge. Because I believe that they can't install interim government without the consent of Mr. President. Definitely quite questionable whether Mr. President is in charge or not. And I also believe DSS needs to do the needful and get those people arrested, because there's some point, maybe there's some time that they say that they carry out this intelligence at the end of the day. Something happened at the end of the day. They already told you guys about it. They're not in control of this. That's what happened. don't want to hear news like that.
Okay.
They should get arrested for that. And also regarding this increment salary, I think it's not going to, I just hope they are not going to create problem for the incoming government. They have less than 2 months before they
All right, Ahmed.
They are now creating salary. Yeah. They have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, this is Ayuko. I'm calling from Mula.
Please go ahead.
The comment made by DSS spokesperson is just a figment of his imagination. You know, the three candidates that contested for presidency, Atiku, Obi, and Tinubu, they were all desperado. All of them wanted to be president at all costs, going by their action. And this is not over well for a meaningful democracy. We are assuming Atiku or this other candidate from Labour Party was declared as winner. Maybe Nigeria would have been too chaotic. Still, there would have been pandemonium in Nigeria. But thank God, as was announced, all this being said by DSS president, just a figment of imagination. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen at all in Nigeria.
All right. Amen. Well, thank you. I like your confidence. It says nothing will happen. Let's get to Facebook for a moment. Olutayo Obalolua Rolo says, this is not the first time the DSS will be making this kind of allegation, but without any proof or arrest to back it up. If indeed they know the plotters, why have they not arrested them and show them to the world? It's just noise without substance. Olabode Anthony Ajayi says, good morning, Chacha. There is no smoke without a fire. DSS should do the needful, arrest anyone that wants to cause chaos. Those urging military to take over are just being delusional. Long live Jagaban Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President-elect. May peace reign in Nigeria. Ayo Kule Olayinka says, it might be those cabal, two powerful people and close to the president planning the interim government, so they need to shout first. Omo Basharun says, Nigerians should please put their mind at rest because nothing like interim government in Nigeria. President-elect Asiwaju Tinubu will be sworn in on the 29th of May this year by the special grace of God. I'm appealing to all Nigerians, especially Yoruba people, to call their children to stay away from illegal protests that may lead to anarchy in the country. Eze Udene says, Mrs. Oti set a good example for men if they would follow, if they don't let them keep destroying the country. It will come back to haunt everyone. While Taiwo Sunday says, good morning, ladies in the studio. What will stop others from engaging in social vices is punishment. Those found culpable should be persecuted and punished. Kudos to the woman VC for upholding her integrity. Olowo Tolokbetimitukwe says the Abia Rec should be commended, but she needs to report the case to appropriate authorities and those involved should be charged to court. On the interim government, those involved should be charged to court. They haven't even been mentioned, not to talk of being charged to court. Ajayi says, okay, thank you very much. Shito Adio says, if DSS arrests any popular politician now, will the CSO and NGO not be shouting democracy is in danger? The warning is the pragmatic approach so that all the nonsense plans of the interim national government is dead on arrival. On the salary increase on some agencies of government, my goodness. My messages just disappeared. So sorry about that. I'll try to get them again and hopefully continue. But let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jerome.
Hi, good morning. Charles, is that you?
Yeah, Charles from here.
Go ahead. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Mrs. Jumoke.
Good morning.
The information from the DSS might be true. You know, Nigerian government, the president might be willing to go. And the hunger son, who know what they are enjoying, they don't want him to go. We've seen where the president wanted third term and all that. But I know the president wants to go. So it's not left for the president to make sure that he speaks with the security agencies so that they will be alert in case of people who want to foment trouble, so that they will deal with those people that are decisive. What I expect Nigerians to wait for is the judgment from the court. Let us wait for the judgment of the court. That should decide what will happen. Because the transition council, they are working hard to make sure that, to make sure that the president handles
Thank you very much, Charles. Unfortunately, that's all the calls I can take this morning. Shito Aju's message that disappeared earlier says, on the salary increase on some agencies of government and the talk of others who are not government workers, they should increase the price of their produce or services too. That is the logical way. The adjustments will go around for everyone. What about us who don't have businesses? What will we increase? We'll tell our employers to increase our salary by force. You want us to lose our jobs. Anyway, thank you very much. At 8 o'clock, I'd hoped that we'll talk about the NLC, the calling off of the strike, and all that. But we will talk about that. This is a much bigger issue. So we'll continue this conversation at 8 also. There are different angles that I'll be bringing to your consciousness in that time. But we're going to continue this talk about the DSS announcing that some plotters want to install an interim government in Nigeria and not allow the inauguration to go on. Mrs. Jumoke, I have to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. On a parting note to Nigerians, it's good to hear comments from citizens saying democracy is here to stay. If democracy is here to stay, we have to work for it and continue to defend it.
Absolutely.
Democracy is not served on a platter of gold. It's not a la carte. You have to continue to work for it. So let's not miss that point.
Great. Join us again at 8 o'clock. My name is Charity Jerome. Sports is up at 7:30. Good morning.
Evaporated milk is delicious milk that is carefully formulated to retain its creaminess and great taste.
So creamy, so good.
Cowbell Evaporated Milk. So creamy, so good.
Cowbell, I want milk. Beyond banking. Sure you need something. Where they beyond banking. Make I give you the updates. We not they frustrate. Open at the package. Relax your mind. You know go for your hand. Auntie brother open na the way. Anything we go solve on it. Super fast transactions. Networking.